So here are some frame rails which I bought from R-Theory Motorsports, which I'm planning to install on my 1990 Mazda Miata EUNOS Roadster. Now the reason why I bought the frame rails is so that I can have some more stiffness in my chassis, as well as provide stronger jack points whenever I lift up the car. Also, the other reason why I did it is because I had lowered my car with new coilovers, and it provides quite a bit of protection over the OEM frame rails in case I accidentally go off roading and the ground hits the bottom of my car. Alright, let's start this project.
Remove the seats. Do this by unfastening the four 14mm mounting bolts. I used a breaker bar to first loosen mine. Also, if you have headrest speakers, disconnect the speaker wires located under the seat. Now would be a good time to do some interior vacuuming. Unfasten the bolt that holds the bottom of the seat belt. Now remove the sill plates. Do this by hand. Less chance of stripping the screw heads. Now unfasten these two nuts in order to take off the footrest pedal. Remove the plastic clip holding down the carpet. Almost done with the interior. Now move the carpet out of the way. Right, let's start installing the frame rails. Put the car up on jack stands. You want it to be safe and stable. After all, you're going to be underneath this while you're installing the rails. You have fuel lines that run along the left side of the right rail. Start by removing the metal brackets holding these fuel lines. Let's fit the new frame rails. Uh-oh, they're not fitting. It looks like previous damage to the OEM frame rails have caused them to bulge and bend out of shape. We need to bend them back in a reasonable shape in order to fit the new frame rails. You can use a hammer, but be careful around the fuel lines. You can also use a C-clamp for more precise bending. Here we're using a socket and a screwdriver just to get more torque and power. Here's the frame rail bent into shape. It's not pretty, but it'll allow the new frame rails to fit over it. All that bending and hammering exposed some of the metal on the frame rail. So I sprayed it with this undercoat for some corrosion protection. Alright, let's get these frame rails in there. You want to get this corner of the frame rail right into this pocket here. It might take a couple tries to get it on right. Be a little careful with the right frame rail as you want to slide it over the fuel lines. You definitely don't want to damage the lines themselves. Once the rails are in place, use a jack just to make it more snug. Now the fun begins. Let's start drilling the holes. Note to people with NA8s 1994 Plus and second generation MB Miatas. Your ECU is sitting behind the right seat. You will need to remove this unit before drilling to prevent damage to your computer. Don't forget to protect those holes you created. In the package there are long bolts and short bolts. The 6 short bolts are to be used on the left side of the right frame rail, where the fuel lines run. Use the long bolts for the rest of the holes. Again, take care when tightening your nuts and bolts close to the fuel line. Use a set of pliers or vice grips and bend this part of the metal bracket. You'll need to do this slight modification in order for the brackets to fit on the new frame rails properly. In the end, this bracket should look like this. Now place back the metal brackets and mount it to the frame rail. And we are done. All that's left now is to put back the interior. It's basically the reverse of how we took it all out in the beginning. Frame rail install is now complete. Now with the added strength, the car can be jacked up at any point of the rail, even at the midpoint of the car. Makes for a lot quicker repairs and increased underbody protection. I hope this video was informative and enjoyable for you. Thanks for watching.